In the darkness of the night, when reality blends with boundless darkness, a scene of nightmare unfolds in Emily Davis's mind. She stands on the edge of an abyss, the air filled with a sense of void and a fear that coils her heart in its oppressive grip. Silence surrounds her, accentuating her solitude. She falls, descending into a bottomless space, enveloped by an atmosphere of anxious anticipation. Like a plunge into an infinite chasm, she struggles to escape this nightmare, but each effort only pushes her deeper. Her screams resonate in the silence, piercing the darkness, yet leaving no trace. Fear, reigning over her, constricts her lungs, preventing her from exhaling, and she realizes she cannot halt her plummet. With the dawn comes temporary relief. Yet, even in reality, there exists something destructive that shatters her familiar perception. Emily stands before the mirror, her eyes weary from sleepless nights. But what she sees freezes her in horror. Her reflection has become alien, as though a second personality has intervened. The shadow of her own form moves autonomously, akin to a living flame. It distorts and warps, embodying numerous jagged contours. Beneath her eyes, amidst weariness, an unseen mockery is discernible. Her smile resembles a sinister, mocking grimace. Fear of what lies behind the mirror quickens her heartbeat. Her hands tremble as she closely monitors the wild, living movement of the shadow, as if she's become a witness to a second personality awakening from the depths, trying to break free and shatter the veneer of everyday life. A solitary evening, sighing with loneliness, leads Emily into a world of concealed horrors. When candlelight caresses the darkness and plays games of light and shadow, something awakens in the corner of the room. A whisper, barely audible, like a ghostly breath, emanates from the dimly shrouded part of the room. This whisper becomes a voice, uttering her name and immersing her like a chilly breeze. Its sound seems bent in time and space. The sound of words seems to dissolve into the air, penetrating the depths of her mind. She hears it within her head, as if it speaks from within her rather than from without. Emily. The voice is both gentle and coarse, a ghostly touch of a cold hand against her face. Her skin prickles as if she's submerging into cold waters of an infinite lake, brimming with secrets and fears. Her eyes remain fixed on the corner of the room, where darkness begins to take shape, as though something incomprehensible and sinister is growing from it. This marks the beginning of her strange journey, a journey into a world of unseen forces and nightmares, where the whisper of darkness infiltrates her soul, shattering normalcy and plunging her into a harrowing nightmare. The voice of darkness, that mysterious whisper, continues to penetrate Emily's mind. Like the sounds of wind carrying countless secrets, it brings her knowledge she could never have imagined. Forgotten memories of her past start breaking through the veil of oblivion. With each word of the voice of darkness, she realizes that her essence is tied to this realm of shadows. It turns out she was born with a gift that allows her to interact with the shadow, to converse with it. Yet, the darkness is bound, suppressed within this world, like a captive of an endless subterranean dark labyrinth. From this suppressed darkness emanates a whisper, not just a whisper of fear and secrets, but a whisper of longing for liberation. The voice of darkness beckons Emily to help it break free from its shackles, to restore its freedom. In these words, she hears melancholy and unease, as though the music of a boundless ocean that consumes consciousness. But beyond knowledge, Emily begins to glimpse dark fragments of other people's lives. In her dreams, past grim visions, dark images radiating fear and pain. She becomes a witness to tragic fates entwined in the web of this gloomy dimension. She sees faces, fragments of stories, as if pieces of shattered mirrors. The visions allow her to relive the terrible moments of others, as though her own consciousness plunges into their agony and fear. Each soul entangled in these dark threads serves as a reminder that darkness knows every detail of their fears. The voice of darkness grows more insistent. It ceases to be merely an echo of the wind and becomes a conversation. It whispers to her that only with her help can the darkness be liberated and its integrity restored. The whispers infiltrate her consciousness like threads weaving a complex net of promises and hopes. Emily begins to perceive the voice of darkness as her companion, like a friend with whom she converses in the semi-darkness of her room. The voice becomes increasingly distinct, discernible. It takes on the shape of a conversation rather than just dark prophecy. Her mind is drawn into this whisper, as though dense darkness absorbs light, leaving only a small spark. Deciding to explore the boundaries of her gift, Emily chooses to delve deeper into the world that binds her to the shadow. She begins to conduct rituals and meditations, immersing herself in a trance state. The darkness seems to come alive, surrounding her, curling around her like damp mist. With each meditation, with each whisper of the darkness, she feels more strongly that the world of shadows is beginning to unfold before her. It's like gates leading to a forbidden realm, where secrets and fears are hidden, where darkness takes on its living form. Her hands twitch with the sensation of magic touching her fingertips. With each step into this secret of reality, Emily begins to realize that her shadow is a gateway to a dark dimension where inhuman forces and entities exist. She sees ghosts, like reflections on the surface of water, flickering before her eyes, leaving memories and moments of lost lives. She starts summoning ancient powers, as if addressing the part of herself that had always been concealed. Runes and symbols inscribed in a circle gleam in the dim light of candles, creating a portal to this world. Her breath synchronizes with the rhythm of the darkness. Her heart beats in unison with the pulses of the shadows. And finally, the gates open. Emily senses the boundary between her world and the world of darkness vanishing, as if she stepped into another dimension. Before her stretches the realm of darkness, a vast, mesmerizing expanse, like an ocean of starry nights. She sees myriad eyes gleaming in the darkness, like tiny lights in the celestial dome. She feels their attention, like a warm breeze brushing her cheek. Mirage-like figures rising from the shadows, like ghosts of those who once existed, flicker before her eyes. Her breath merges with the breath of this world, as if she's become a part of it. The darkness comes alive before her, as if she's become the creator of this world, as if the darkness ignites with every thought of hers. This is her darkness, her gateway, and she realizes they hold power within her. Yet in this mysterious world where darkness reigns, dangers and secrets await that she is yet to fathom. In this world, where darkness comes alive and surrounds her from all sides, Emily senses that every rustle, every breeze is a touch of the darkness. She begins to discern jagged silhouettes of entities hiding in the depths of the shadows. Some beckon her, while others hide, as if awaiting their time. As she ventures further, doubts begin to bud in her soul. Was embarking on this journey the right choice? She realizes that darkness can be deceitful. It bestows knowledge, power, yet it can also consume the soul, leaving emptiness and lifelessness. With each step deeper into this world, Emily feels a fragment of her own essence slipping away. The shadow grows stronger, the voice of darkness intertwines with her own thoughts. Reality starts dissolving like mist, and she becomes entangled between her own life and the realm of entities. She feels as if her body no longer belongs to her. It seems to shift between these worlds, as if she becomes part of both dimensions simultaneously. Her mind is torn between the desire to understand the secrets of darkness and the fear of losing herself. With each step closer to the heart of this world, Emily realizes that the darkness entices her, promising eternal knowledge and power. She sees the temptation that pulls her away from her mundane reality. The voice of darkness becomes increasingly persistent, its promises seducing her, like a hypnotic whisper that offers no rest. Her soul struggles between light and darkness, between the desire for knowledge and the fear of losing herself. Yet with each passing moment, the darkness wraps around Emily, like weaving a web around her, luring her into its embrace. Her feet start sinking into the ground, as if she's descending into a bottomless abyss. She finds herself at the edge of a choice between preserving her soul and plunging into the darkness, which stands ready to swallow her whole. Fears and doubts engulf Emily with an unprecedented force as she begins to immerse herself in the embrace of darkness. Her consciousness seems to drown in a succession of endless nightmares. She fights, struggling to stay afloat. With each passing moment, the darkness tightens its grip on her, like a whirlpool pulling her into the abyss. Reality starts crumbling before Emily's eyes, like a fragile clay figurine dropped to the floor. She sees distortions, as if the world around her is beginning to melt, dissolving into a gloomy palette. Colors blend, images blur, and sounds seem to disperse in the air, enveloping her inner world in a strange aura. Voices from the depths of her mind begin uttering incomprehensible phrases, as if whispering forgotten secrets. Emily tries to concentrate, but the world around her becomes an absurd picture, as if she's found herself in a kaleidoscope of delusional fantasies. The darkness promises Emily power over this world, over the entities enclosed in the darkness. She sees herself as the ruler of this realm, but the cost of this power becomes increasingly evident. She feels her humanity weaving into the patterns of darkness, her essence starting to disintegrate like a flickering candle that has lost its flame. The fear she experiences when confronting otherworldly forces now merges with the bitterness of realizing that she's becoming nothing more than a pawn in the hands of darkness. Her life, her identity dissolve in this eternal night, and she begins to grasp that each step into this world is a step towards losing herself. Emily remains alone in the boundless void of darkness. Her identity, her dreams, her pains all vanish in this abyss. She feels her essence dissolve into the impenetrable darkness, like grains of sand in a whirlwind. Now she's nothing but emptiness, devoid of form and meaning. Everything that once connected her to reality disappears. Her past loses its significance, the future becomes unreachable, and the present is inconsequential. She remains forgotten in this absolute emptiness, where there is no light, no sound, no sensation. In the final throes of her consciousness, Emily hears the last whisper of the darkness. It reaches her like a somber wind carrying sounds of forgotten times. "You have become my embodiment. We are now one." The voice of darkness echoes through the dark expanses of her mind. This whisper sounds like an ominous farewell chord, plunging her into the abyss of darkness forever. She realizes that she can no longer separate herself from this darkness, that she has become a part of it, and all that remains is the merging in this endless black void. Finally, the moment arrives. Emily senses the darkness beginning to envelop her, like a dense blanket of night. This sensation is like an ominous sound piercing her mind. Her consciousness starts to dissolve, breaking into separate fragments, like drops of water in an abyss. The black embrace of the darkness consumes her, envelopes her essence, and she feels herself starting to lose herself. Everything that was once important becomes blurred and unreachable. Her identity starts to fade, her thoughts merge with this endless darkness. Emily no longer feels alive. She becomes a mere echo of herself, a dark shadow in this world. The feelings she once experienced, joy, fear, hope, now seem distant and unreal. In this boundless darkness, Emily becomes a witness to the nightmares that torment those who are consumed by the darkness. She sees their images, like ghosts flickering in this abyss. Their moans and cries sound like an eerie symphony, filling this world with malice and fear. She feels their pain, their suffering, their losses. She relives their nightmares as if her mind melts with their agony. These souls are fragments of lives shattered against the walls of this darkness. They wander endlessly here, trapped in eternal emptiness. And so, the story of Emily Davis comes to its melancholic conclusion. Her essence is fully consumed by the darkness. She becomes a part of this bleak world, her personality dissolving into this boundless darkness. She no longer experiences fear, pain, or joy. Her consciousness remains forgotten in this infinite darkness. Now she is merged with this eternal void, becoming a part of it. Her presence here is but a faint trace of who she once was. Her fate remains forgotten in this world where there is no room for light or hope. She has become just one of the many shadows wandering in this boundless darkness, perpetually roaming amidst meaningless contours.